Okay, so today we're going to be dyeing the Nike SB Dunk High Unbleached. Let's get started. And here's the results. Okay, so let's run through the process. So first off, started by removing the laces and the insoles. The insoles I wanted to stay fresh white, and the laces I wanted to put in separately. I then taped up the sole and the swoosh with electrical tape. This was so that I didn't have that staining effect on the swoosh and the sole, because I wanted that vibrant white pop. But I didn't do the best job when it came to this, and it still leaked through on the swoosh and the sole, but I'll talk about that later. Then I got a big plastic container, filled it with cold water, submersed these shoes in the water, really got them saturated with the water, and then squeezed that off, squeezed all of the moisture that I could get out, put them aside. I got a Dylon. It's like almost like a tub of Dylon that you normally put in a washing machine to dye your clothes. I used half of that, half of the mixture inside, which is just like a powdered granule. Really mix that into the water so that the granules dissipate into the water. Pour in some boiling water as well with the mix, not loads, but enough to make sure that the ink, the dye, is going to start to activate, and also it helps to sort of dissolve it into the water. And then I dunked them in while flipping them every so and so for about 10 minutes. Now, what I would say is be careful, because you've got a massive heavy tub of water, and obviously the dye could splash and go anywhere, especially when it's dark dye. It's going to stain stuff. Then I removed them, placed them onto the lid of the container so that I could carry them into the bathroom, put them in the shower. I rinsed heavily with a shower head, squeezing out, trying to get as much of the dye out as possible so that it was more or less running clear. It was quite a hard task. It would probably be better to put these into the washing machine to fully wash these out, but I didn't want to put a brand new shoe into the washing machine because I didn't want to damage the structure of it straight away. I had put in the laces when I was dyeing, and then I removed them, but I really wasn't happy with the results, so I ended up re-bleaching the laces because it was only the tips that really went dark, and I really like the orange tips on these laces, so I put them in a bleach wash afterwards. Overall, I think it turned out really well. It's a bit annoying trying to dry them. I put them in the airing cupboard. At first I put them on a radiator, which ended up, where it was sat on the radiator, it saturated this area with colour and stained little patches, which was quite annoying. Certain parts of it didn't really stain that well. I don't know if it was the dye that I used, because I have seen it where the tongue actually stains, but on the one I used, it mainly just sort of stained around the border of the tongue. But I think the actual coverage on the shoe itself and the colour that it's turned out is really nice. There was a little glue mark there, glue stain previously, so that didn't saturate, the colour didn't saturate into that. And as I said, I taped these off, but it still did leak through a little bit. So what I did afterwards was just painted on some bleach so that these would go more of a vibrant white again, because I like the contrast against the blue. And I did that again with the sole, because some of them, you can still see remnants of the ink, but I just didn't want it to have that sort of patchy watercolor look on the sole. I kept the insoles white, personal preference if you want to dye them, but overall looks really cool. That is what the materials on the swoosh would have gone color wise, so it would have gone more like a purple violet, but as I said, I wanted that bright white. All round, I think these are brilliant. I don't know how they're going to hold up in the rain. I'm definitely never going to wear white socks with these, and I would definitely advise putting some sort of water and stain repellent on these, maybe a rejuvenator or crepe, just to sort of protect you against the elements, as it is becoming more and more winter-like outside. But anyway, tell me what you think of these. Are you going to dye them? Are you going to get them? Any comments? More than welcome. Anyway, let's go to some more on feet. It's Woodsy out. So today we're going to be dyeing the Unbleached Duck High.